Welcome to Families of the Fallen Support Volunteer Training. Casualty assistance is one of the most demanding and sensitive volunteer opportunities you will ever have during your volunteer service. Your duty as a support volunteer will take precedence over all other obligations and responsibilities of volunteer service when assigned. Your mission is to provide assistance to the primary next of kin and or other family members during the period a family member of the fallen arrives at Reagan National Airport. The assistance provided demonstrates the concern of the United Services Organization, Metropolitan Washington, Baltimore, the welfare of the military members and their families. The manner in which you perform this mission will have a lasting effect on how the family and their community perceive the United Services Organization. Your goal should be to impart the most positive impression possible under the circumstances. In order to accomplish this, you must be able to blend professionalism with empathy. Nothing can substitute for good judgment, common sense, and sensitivity in performing your casualty assistance mission. The quality of service must reflect full attention to duty and to the wishes of the next of kin and other family members. Hello, I am Marty Jennings, Center Supervisor, USO Reagan National and Joint Base Andrews Centers. I'll provide the narration today for this training. Families of the Fallen agenda we will follow today is depicted on the screen. The purpose of this class is to prepare you to provide the best possible casualty assistance service to the families of deceased military members. This training will address most of the questions and situations that may arise from family members as you perform the support volunteer mission. Primary objectives of this training are to assist family members during a very emotionally trying and difficult time following a casualty incident. Our goal is to eliminate delays in transiting through Reagan National Airport. Support volunteers meet families at the arrival gate or arrival doors roadside, address questions, provide information, assist families at baggage check-in, and escorts families through security to gates or to hotel transportation at airport curbside. Please join me in watching a short video on the USO Honor Support Team from North Carolina.
The Honor Support Team was started by Ken Tickets, who is a retired colonel.
2006, the USO got a call to assist the widow of a soldier killed in Iraq that was coming here to receive his remains. Now, back in those days, remains would come in on a commercial flight and be unloaded on the casket as regular baggage. Ken, who happened to be on shift, went down to assist her, and they had to stand at the gate above the tarmac and watch as this soldier's remains were unloaded and put on a baggage cart along with baggage.
And he decided he didn't want to see this again, didn't want the families to see this. So he started this team.
It's our job to take care of everything here at the airport.
We look after the escorts.
We perform plainside ceremonies on the tarmac.
We make an announcement to the terminal, to people in the terminal, that this is what is happening.
We also support the family members who are here.
When you see it, it seems like a pretty simple thing they're doing, but it takes a lot of pre-planning. It is a very, very trying time for these families, and it's an emotional thing for those who witness these missions down on the tarmac.
And they see these families and the grief they're going through and the sacrifice that these military people make.
We have had witnesses up there tell us that that many of them break down watching what happens down there.
3 months ago, the people were standing up at the gate, and as the remains went up into the plane, a man started singing Amazing Grace. It's amazing. I intend to keep doing it until I physically can't anymore.
Let's move on. Support for the fallen and their family members. When looking at steadfast support in times of need, as loved ones are faced with the loss of a family member, USO Metropolitan Washington Baltimore stands by their side, ready to provide support in the toughest times. From a troop's dignified transfer to their final resting place, USO Metro offers assistance as they mourn and grieve the loss of their loved one. The USO Metro always supports the families of those who have made the ultimate sacrifice through our partnerships with organizations such as Tragedy Assistance Program for Survivor, TAPS, and Fisher House, as well as the support received at various USO centers across the United States. No matter what the hour or the need, the USO and the USO Metropolitan in Washington, Baltimore is there for the families of the fallen. Easing the burden. Always by their side, the USO proudly stands with our nation's military families, especially in times of great sorrow. When tragedy befalls a serviceman or woman, the worlds of many come to a halt. As lives of the loved ones are turned upside down, the USO Metropolitan Washington Baltimore provides a foundation of support to help those touched by loss. Our caring USO staff and volunteers are prepared to provide assistance from our international airports to our centers, giving comfort and guidance. As families mourn, the USO Metro aims to alleviate many of the logistical hurdles with free internet, computer, and telephone access so that families and friends may properly grieve and honor their fallen hero. Looking at airport escort services, the USO is dedicated to serving the families of our fallen service members. Our caring USO Metropolitan Washington Baltimore staff and trained volunteers will meet the families upon arrival at the airport to help alleviate the burdens of travel as the family mourns the loss of their fallen hero. Our USO representative will escort the family to their gates, to the USO Reagan National Lounge, and provide airport and travel information, and will provide any other support that the family may need at that time. USO also has family travel packs. Family traveling through the airport due to their loss of their loved ones can receive travel packs filled with snacks and beverages. We also provide flight change assistance in that USO Metropolitan Washington Baltimore understands that flights and planes can change at a moment's notice. Our experienced volunteers and staff will be there to take on the burden for the family and assist in rebooking flights or finding alternative transportation to ensure that the family will arrive to their final destination on time. It's not easy to address a family member or recently lost their family member, son, or daughter. I'd like to share some insights in caring from the perspective of a Gold Star parent. The parent said, "How can you even begin to know what to do to show our love and support to the families of the fallen? Things people have said or done that have helped. If you know a story about our deceased loved one, would you mind, just ask, would you mind if I share a story about your son or daughter with you? Stories are all we have left. They are gifts. Ask, would you mind if I hold your hands and say a prayer for peace of heart, strength, and courage for you and your family? I can't imagine the pain you are suffering. I know there's nothing I can say or do to make it better, but I want you to know I care." Not one single person ever asked for particular about Tim's death. Everyone seemed to feel that Tim was gone, and it didn't matter what he had done to contribute to that. Everyone responded with the utmost compassion and sadness. No one ever expressed extreme anger or overt bitterness toward our country, the military, or the circumstances that contributed to Tim's action. Everyone was proud that Tim was in the Marines and served as willingly as he did. What people have said or done that hurts. Johnny is in a better place. A grieving mother or father cannot accept or comprehend such words. We wanted our children with us to keep hugging, shopping for, watch become the mature adult they would be, give us grandchildren, more laughter and stories, and hold our hand when we aged. Our children were our heaven on earth. It was God's plan. We are human beings that are hurt to the point of near incapacitation. Our dad in heaven has let us down and denied us our great treasure to return home walking and talking. We are angry at the universe. We have to find our own way back to accepting God's love and our forgiving Him. Don't ask how Johnny or Sally died. A family suffering a death by suicide, drugs, etc., carry a heightened level of grief, stress, and anxiety out of pure fear of judgment by others. You're not alone. God is always with you. When we are angry, frustrated, confused in our faith, and searching for answers, that it takes us a while to understand that we'll not get out of this side of heaven. We do not believe God is with us. We can't touch Him, hug Him, feel His hug. We feel alone, except for maybe the person strong and compassionate enough to be with us and show us often through silence and patience that God is still around because you allowed God to use you to show His patience and love through our most horrific time on earth. Personally, when I see others walk the walk, not talk, I know God is real. Don't ask how you are doing today unless you're ready to be a sounding block and share some tears without need of you saying a word. Or be prepared for a lie because we fear you don't really want the truth anyway. I'm so sorry for your loss. As one mom said, there was nothing sorry about my son. We we're proud of his service to our country. Or another mom said, you don't have to be sorry. We're so very proud of him. The reason some of us don't like the words, I'm sorry, is because with military war deaths, the debate about right or wrong of the war seems to instantly have some individuals want to pity us because the death was by war they didn't believe in. Well, it's not about what they believe in, but what they don't know about what a military family may or may not believe in. Don't ask, do you have other children? Or say, at least you have another son. As one mom said, consider a car. It has 4 tires. If one goes flat, you're temporarily incapacitated until you replace that flat tire or go on your merry way. We are not cars. Our deceased child cannot be replaced by any other one. We will never live the same again. The loss is debilitating and crippling in ways of unexplainable, and will, even if only in small ways, will be so the rest of our lives. Please don't say time heals. As an expert in the grief field said to a group in a grief peer mentor training class, time passes. It doesn't do anything. It's what we learn to do with the time that helps us travel the path of a healthy grief process. We have to find how to convert anger and frustration into activities that become meaningful, such as creating living legacies to our children, or through our own pain, help others. This all takes time to develop because our mental and physical being is dealing with great trauma. What I wish people understood. Please don't think of that because we return to church with a fake smile that we are okay. We're struggling to return to the old norm. That will never happen, but we have to learn this on our own and how to gradually move into our new norm and live with it. Don't look away from us. Okay, you don't want to say the wrong thing. We get it. You don't want to say, we get it. Say nothing. Just smile sincerely. Ask if you can give us a hug. Ask, can you help us maybe do some laundry, mop the floors, wash the windows, clean the toilets, cut the grass, weed the flower bed. Sit on the porch and drink a favorite beverage with us, but mean it. Don't be a bag of empty words and broken promises. Don't be afraid of tears. Care enough to share them. Care enough to sit in silence and just be there. I come from the Vietnam era when no one understood the impact on soldiers of how they were treated once they returned home. Not enough services were provided to help them through ordeals either. Now, that is getting better, but it's still not good enough. I wish the government and society in general were even more understanding and provided even more emotional and financial support to veterans. Primary and alternate support to volunteers function. It's important for us as to understand the role that the primary support volunteer has. That person is on standby to support families of the fallen during their assigned week. They're on duty 24/7 for that assigned week, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The alternate support volunteer is backup to the primary support volunteer during their assigned week. If for any reason the primary support volunteer is not available to do their duty because of illness or because of their own emergency, the alternate support volunteer is required to step up and to be available 24/7 to support the needs of our community. Who is on our team? Who are the members of the family support volunteers? Pictured on the screen are the 25 plus individuals who have signed up to support the families of the fallen. It's important to note your brothers and sisters who will be primary and alternate support volunteers with you. Know their names, know their contact numbers, their emails, and stay in touch with each other. This is our proposed Families of the Fallen Support Volunteer standby calendar. What you can see here, highlighted in red font, are the names of the primary and alternate volunteers who have elected to perform this duty. In the green font are backup volunteers' names that are available on a limited basis. In other words, they're working and they may be available in the evening or they may be available on the weekend to be able to provide backup support to the primary and alternate volunteers. What you see here is a calendar from 29 July of 2018 to 5 January of 2018. And week by week, we have a primary and alternate volunteer who has stepped up and are scheduled to support. I ask you to look at this calendar. If there's a conflict in your personal calendar, reach out to me and let me know so that I can adjust the names and the calendars and the dates to ensure we have coverage for the whole 6-month period. Today, we provided you some training on what it means to be a support volunteer for the Families of Fallen program at the Reagan National Airport, USO. We provide you an introduction, the purpose and objective of our training. We've shared with you a video of the USO North Carolina Honor and Support Team and the roles that they played. We talked to you about the functions of supports for the fallen and their families. We provided you some insights in caring from the point of view of Gold parents who have lost a military family member. We depicted for you the primary and alternate support functions and who is on your volunteer support team. And we also discussed the proposed support volunteer standby calendar, sharing with you the primary and alternate dates of folks that were available for that, and providing contact information so that you can reach out to me and let me know that your calendar is going to work in a timely manner for this. What I'd like to share with you, finally, are some pictures that were provided by an award-winning photographer of military members who are returning back to the United States, to the United States Air Force at Dover, Delaware, Dover Air Force Base. And here is depicted return of Marine Captain Daniel B. Bartle, Captain Nathan R. McHorn, and Master Sergeant Travis W. Riddick, and Corporal Joseph D. Logan, and Corporal Kevin J. Reingard. This is the return of Army Specialist Sean D. Sykes. Army Chief Warrant Officer 3, Brent Cole. Army First Sergeant Blue C. Roll. Senior Airman Ashton Lynn Marie Goodman. Specialist Chad Edmondson. Private Thomas Lee. Specialist Marco M. Sampson. PFC Dwight Ogden. PFC Matthew Wilson. Staff Sergeant Jeffrey Hall. Specialist Roberto Hernandez. Lance Corporal Joshua Whittle. Sergeant Ricky Jones. First Sergeant John Blair. Specialist Rodrigo Monjol Larvis. Navy Command Master Chief Jeffrey Garber, and Specialist Casey Hills. I want to thank you for taking the opportunity to do this training with me today and for stepping up to volunteer, to be a support volunteer of this falling families. It's not an easy task, and I commend you for your willingness to do this task. This concludes today's training, and again, I thank you for your service.